Spooky season is upon us, and with it comes one of the great questions of our time. How much of your soul are you willing to give in order to get what you want? Say, for example, that you could summon a demon with ancient scripture. After idle chit-chat over a cup of coffee, it announces you its pact. Give him a part of your humanity, and it will render unto you what you most desire. Today, we explore themes of greed, conformity, and perhaps most importantly, censorship. Also in this video, my upcoming broadcasting ban in mainland China. This is gonna be a good one. Hello everyone, my name is V and welcome to Talking Points, the show where I turn an entire government against me because of an unfortunate video title. Oops. I believe we are up about 10 or 15 subscribers since the last video. Thank you so much to every single one of you. It's been a pleasure to read all of the positive feedback you guys have been sending me. Before we get started, I do really want to have your opinion on the new sound setup. I got tired of the sound quality in my videos being subpar, so I got myself a little early gift. If you like hearing my voice in crisp, high definition, please make sure to tell me in the comments and drop a like while you're at it also. Thanks. So, did you think of an answer? Would you sell your entire soul? None of it maybe? Maybe 50% minus 1, so the demon can technically not have ownership over it. Well, whatever your answer might be, one thing is definitely for certain. Demons don't exist, so you'll never have to make a choice like that. Right? Well, it depends what you consider to be a demon. If you're thinking fiery, hardened shell, underworld creature, then chances are you'll probably never meet one. But if you're thinking entity that wants a piece of your humanity, then it's actually pretty scary how easy you can find one. Whatever you might have been told, the most valuable thing on planet Earth is human potential. Our entire comprehension of economy relies on the notion that time and energy can be traded for stuff. You want to build a house? It'll cost you some time and energy. You want to have a shiny new car? That'll cost you some time and energy. Once upon a time, if you wanted something, you had to sell a piece of your soul for it. Bear in mind this is still the exact same today, however you can sell your soul for a wider variety of stuff because of money. It serves as a container for human potential. But what exactly happens when you don't want stuff? Well, you can trade your human potential for relationships. Thankfully, we can't pay for lovers or friends yet, so that means that we have to invest ourselves, our time and energy. But surprisingly, just with like money, there are crooks that want to rip you off of your soul. I mean, you've all seen this before. You might have not noticed it, but you've definitely seen it. A beautiful girl marries a man for his assets. A beautiful man fucks many girls for credentials. A friend stays by your side until you are no longer useful to him or her. A boyfriend or a girlfriend requires you to fulfill all of their desires, but every single time there's always one thing that makes them unable to do so for you. Blood-sucking mosquitoes? More like soul-sucking demons.
Hey, Troy sneezes like a girl. And how about I pound you like a boy? That didn't come out right.
It really didn't. Crooks come in all shapes and sizes, but thankfully it's actually something that's easily identified if you wish to do so. Funnily enough, it will require you to pay attention to them more and more, which is exactly what they want, but give too much attention to demons and they crumble. They can deal with only so much soul at a time. So if your goal is to make sure that they never do that shit again, you need like a huge burst in both time and energy. Think of the whole Rubet situation. That's exactly what happened. A demon was ripping off people of their souls, a huge burst in both time and energy came through, and now he's crumbling away simply because it is too much to bear and process. Greedy individuals will try to acquire your soul for their personal gain, and I hope that's been made clear by now. But remember, a soul is simply your time and energy. If demons are just people that want your time and money, look no further than modern America. The United States of America, the greatest country on earth. Until the 1970s. Seriously, I have to say, I'm a pretty big fan of America. Its history and culture is basically like no other, but it's not something you can easily find. If McDonald's, guns, and the waving Star-Spangled Banner on the back of a diesel pickup truck are the first thing that come to your mind when thinking of the USA, then perhaps you need to read the Notes on the State of Virginia by Thomas Jefferson, or the early work of the American Philosophical Society. Nevertheless, what is today cannot be ignored, and I think it's pretty much an understatement at this point to say that American culture revolves around engagement. Billboards on the side of the road, product placements, politics, Hollywood. It's the American way of buying souls. For people like me that are outside of the USA, I want you to think about something. Often have you heard news, talked about in class, or saw anything even remotely related to America? Just for this week, I don't have enough fingers to count the amount of major articles that were written in my country's most popular journal that were about the United States. We don't even live there and it's already bad, so imagine what it must be like when you're in it. Bombarded by news channel, political discourse, and marketing, the average American nowadays is expected to engage with all of these things, but nothing comes even close to demonstrating this more than the internet. Targeted ads, fitted algorithms, the ever-growing presence of social media in our lives. Every click, every second, every website you have visited contributes to the growth of these demons. They have also refined the way they harvest those quote-unquote souls to the point where everything you do on the internet nowadays is costing you a little bit of your time and energy. However, once you notice this, you at least have the possibility of fighting it back. Ad blockers, sponsor skippers, and a whole other variety of bypasses can be applied to stop those packs from ever occurring in the first place. The same applies to your life also. You can choose to be apolitical and disengage from the system entirely. Even if the majority of people conform to the packs that are pushed towards them, you still have the choice to go against the grain and not conform. It might even lead to a whole movement which wants to go against the grain, to do better than meaningless engagement. The original American people decided to break their pact with Britain so that they may decide how they want to spend their energy and their time however they please. But it gets worse. It gets way worse than you could ever imagine. We are talking about straight up cruel and inhumane levels of greed, and the consequences it might lead to if we don't decide to draw a line as a culture. Depending on how familiar you are with the Chinese government, it might not come as a surprise to you that this video is ultimately about them. Concentration camps, powerful people disappearing, social credit score. China is what happens when people become the kind of person I've been referring to as demons. Now, I'm not talking about the Chinese people themselves, obviously. I'm talking about the state, the handful of people that control how Chinese society ought to be. Because of the social credit score, everything that runs on engagement cannot be disengaged from. If you want to quit supporting Chinese politics, your social credit score goes down. If your social credit score goes down, the consequences are pretty benign. You may have to pay fines, publicly apologize, that type of stuff. However, if it gets low enough, you will be forbidden from buying plane and train tickets, buying and owning real estate, resting in hotels and eating in restaurants and going out at night. Your children won't be able to attend certain schools. The list goes on. All of this is illustrated by the story of Xu Xiaodong, but other more straightforward methods have been documented also. Fan Bingbing, China's most popular silver screen star, was detained out of absolutely nowhere for 3 months. Her online presence completely erased also. The moment she comes back, she starts broadcasting highly political messages to her fanbase to solidify the grip the CCP has on their people. If you're successful, you have to be by engaging with their system. The moment you aren't expressively doing so, they force you back in, no matter the cost. If you wish to disengage with the current philosophical rhetoric the political party is currently pushing, that being Confucianism, and you wish to find meaning in your life through a type of spirituality the government can't control very well, you will be hunted down. There is no way to say this lightly. What is happening to the Uyghurs is genocide. They are being interned inside of work camps, and the only thing we know is that a lot of them are dying within those camps. No concrete evidence exists to prove the existence of anything that's been done in there except the death of these individuals. However, the claims of survivors go from systematic rape to physical and psychological torture to literal live testing on human subjects. If you wish to disengage with the current ideological push the government is currently doing, not only do you risk losing your life, but while doing so, you might also suffer some of the most horrible shit man can think of. And to me, the absolute worst in all of that is that if you try to disengage with anything in China and try to look at what's been done before, you hit a wall. Censorship is the tool with which conformity of engagement is imposed. It's how they force you to spend your time and energy in whatever way they see fit, by restricting your avenues of action to the point where they can immediately punish you if you ever get out of line. This is absolutely demonstrated by the pro-democracy protests of Tiananmen Square in 1989. While we cannot be sure of how many people died during those protests, it can vary from anywhere between a few hundred to several thousands. Within mainland China, history was rewritten, and every official source of the event was either destroyed or altered. I simply hope that by now, your soul, your human potential, your time and energy, whatever you want to call it, is extremely important and valuable, and therefore must be spent in ways that you see fit, rather than ways where others profit. This goes for your relationships, your internet browsing, or even your societal actions. Conformity is good, yeah, but if it's at the cost of greedy demons establishing a rule of terror, perhaps you want to reconsider. In any case, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider helping me by dropping a like, a comment, or sharing this with your friends. It's a small thing for you to do, but it helps me a bunch, so I would really appreciate if you did that. On that note, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you on another video. Peace.